I'm going to read a couple of passages from the book that I'm reading, Woman in Madness. So this part is kind of like how women's roles are conditioned and how we are conditioned. So I'm going to read this highlighted part. Women must be perfect or they're failures. The violent conditioning of spotlessness, coupled with a deep sense of dirtiness in female children, runs deep. Indeed, if a woman accomplishes a valuable task, she, unlike men who are, after all, are more mortal, still has failed. She has, for example, abandoned the daily care of her children or her looks in order to do so. A woman has failed if she succeeds at winning a legal or intellectual battle, but has hurt another woman's or man's feelings in the process. Men have wives and female secretaries, both to mother them and to smooth the ruffled feelings of others for them, to serve dinners, buy gifts, and to answer the phone for them when they are in bad or busy tempers. Women don't. Men are also somewhat protected by the universal expectations that they don't have to be so nice. So men get leeway. Men are able to be mortal, but women we have to come dressed to the nines. We have to have our hair in perfect condition. Everything has to be spot on. And if it's not, universally, we're failing. And this was written in 1972, and it really does still apply to right now. Hold on, I got one more message. And this is still relevant today. Traditionally, women as well as men expect or demand another woman's help or sacrifice more quickly and easily than they demand a man's sacrifice or even his cooperation. Objectively, such an expectation is safer and more realistic. So basically, women are typically expected to sacrifice. Even from other women, we're expected to be a mule or a martyr to whatever cause, men or women. And then this morning, one of my friends posted this on Facebook. She was talking about men whose houses that she had been to and they were single. You can read this. She says every one of them had a filthy house. Every one of them were in a financial mess because usually the women were the ones handling their finances. Usually they were not in great health because typically the woman in their life was helping out with telling them to go to the doctor. And on top of that, these men were resentful and angry. You can take some time and read this. I should probably make a part two to this because obviously it's long. So the last video started getting a little bit too long, so I just want to bring this all together. In the last video, I was talking about women and the society's expectations of us to either we have to be successful, but be perfect in it. But then also we're expected to sacrifice ourselves. And this book was written a long time ago, nearly 50 years ago, but it seems that these expectations are still with us in 2022. Now, this woman who is a therapist, she said on her Facebook post that every single man that she had visited this year has had a filthy house because typically it was the woman that was living with them that would clean it. The finances were a mess because typically the woman would be, keeping things in order, that their health was a mess. And we're seeing women talk about this conversation about men and their health because women are ones that are pushing to go to the dentist, go to the doctor. And a lot of these men, and we can see that now, are angry and resentful because women are not stepping into these spots to do these things that are expected of us. And, we're having these conversations, but what I'm seeing is a lot of women are pushing back on that self sacrifice because we're not seeing any of the benefits that go along with it because we're expecting more of a partnership where they're expecting us to be as useful as a washing machine or some kind of appliance or a power tool, and we're just to be used and commodified. So, you guys weigh in. What are you seeing with single men? What are you seeing as far as women and expectations and pushing back against society's notions of what we're supposed to do? Y'all go ahead and weigh in.